And Cheryl Claproot tells us she is suspending Officer Greg Bigda for 5 days without pay. We have obtained court documents revealing what happened this past weekend prior to his arrest. A suspended Springfield police officer in hot water again. Officer Greg Bigda was arrested for drunk driving just after 1 a.m. on Sunday. According to court documents obtained by Western Mass News, Palmer police noticed a white Infiniti sedan traveling eastbound from Springfield Street towards the intersection of Main Street. The police detective observed the car's driver's side tires fully cross the double yellow line into the westbound travel lane. The detective then conducted a traffic stop and identified the driver as Officer Bigda. Court documents also reveal that Officer Bigda told the detective he drank a couple of cocktails and was coming home from a friend's house in Wilbraham. It was also noted that Officer Bigda was, quote, speaking with an extremely thick tongue, slurring his words, and his eyes were glassy. The detective then conducted a field sobriety test where Officer Bigda had, quote, significant balance issues and told the Palmer detective, quote, he did not feel comfortable performing the test. Officer Bigda was then arrested for operating under the influence of alcohol. He was arraigned at Palmer District Court on Monday and entered a not guilty plea. You may recall it was Officer Bigda who was accused of excessive force and abusive interrogation stemming from an incident with 3 Latino juveniles in 2016. He was then acquitted on the charges in 2021. Since then, the city has not put Officer Bigda back on the force, but he has been kept on payroll. However, on this most recent charge, Springfield Police Superintendent Cheryl Claproot has suspended Officer Bigda for 5 days without pay. Springfield police say, quote, that is the highest level of discipline she can hand out. His internal investigations case will be sent to the Board of Police Commissioners for their review. Now, we have reached out to the Board of Police Commissioners for comment today, but have not yet heard back. Coming up tonight at 6, we're taking a closer look at Officer Bigda's previous criminal cases and how they have impacted people in Springfield. Reporting live in studio, Kristen Burnell, Western Mass News.